Hi and welcome everyone. My name is Bruce Swartz. I'm in the country of Canada. I'm in Montreal, the province of Quebec. I've been studying ufology and astronomy for 4.5 years now. Happy to say, proud to say, have an amazing community. Bruce is talking about the UFOs again. Well, remember the UFOs I showed you in the last video, which was pretty impressive. But again, we're not done talking about the details, and I'm going to take the time to show you, and I'm sure you're all going to appreciate it. I sure do. So there it is, coming from the black spot. You know, whether it's a tunnel or not, it's appearing in the center of a black spot, a light. Duh. Probably a tunnel. But you know how I'm always talking about the UFOs that have those black spots on them, right? Those of you following me are probably saying there's not another black spot on this one. Yes, there is. So what that's proving, it's not that it's even helping me. It's actually proving that I'm not finding that many different UFOs or types of UFOs. Do you see the black dot beside it? So do you understand that that light that we're seeing could be just the propulsion, just the energy field around it? You know, rockets take off here from Earth. They exert a lot of energy. And when we see them climbing, all we see are fire and smoke. We can see the fuselage from it taking off because we're here on Earth. But seeing it from another planet or seeing it far out into space, once it's already going at 50, 60,000 kilometers an hour, it's very hard to see. But again, I'm showing you there is a black dot beside that UFO. And for me, it's important to note the characteristics. Why? Because most of my captures of these UFOs on the surface have that black dot. And I'm able to see them different sizes too. So what does that mean? The fact that I'm capturing, what does it mean, the fact that I'm capturing them in different sizes? Well, either they're bigger and smaller and they have different, many different sizes, or we're capturing at different heights these objects. It is really proving to us that they're leaving the surface. Do you see there's two lights in the circle there? This is right after one bright light splits into half. And when I say splits, quite simply, one light disappears and two appear right after. So all these things are happening so bloody fast on the surface of the moon, it's hard to understand. Those just arriving to the channel, the moon has a haze, has a camouflage, let's call it a veil that I often like to use. We have to find ways of getting underneath it. So what I just showed you now, this is the Navy declassified footage. 1 and 2 of 3 that I will show you of the declassified videos from the U.S. Navy. This is not my footage right now, so let's take a quick look at it and do a comparison with what I just showed you with my own footage and research. Don't you worry if the Pentagon declassified these U.S. Navy videos. It's for their own good. It's going to profit them something, right? Why would they show us anyways? What does it give them to show us something? Well, it has to give them something. Either way, my research, finding little silly lights, like a lot of people say, the military is showing the same bloody thing. It's a camouflage. I just showed you Mars. Sorry. This is a zoom up and filtering of the square rectangle object. Well, just for example comparison, again, the U.S. Navy, a rectangular object. Look closely. It's very similar what I'm capturing both here in infrared in the sky and on the surface of the moon. So I've showed these different days during different moon phases of different months and even different years. Always there, the object, but they change. We see structuring, literally. This, I mean, which one is a crater? A shadow, you say? No, it's not a shadow. There's a dark structure standing off of the surface that we can see through. Look here. It's not blurry. It's perfect to be able to see the surface. You bring the exposure down a lot. I'm not hiding it, and I suggest others to do the same thing. I really have the good technique to be able to see the objects. Look at the shadow underneath this object. It's bent. It looks like a square piece of cardboard bent on the surface, except the problem is it's about 40 to 50 kilometers wide, maybe 30 to 40 kilometers wide. Zoomed out of the same area, Southern Highlands. Not going to hide it. Check it out. Often each video, actually, I'll change things. I'll change the things I say. I'll say, look at the base, or I'll say, look at the anomaly. Either way, it's constructed, I believe. But of course, I don't have the confirmation on whether it's human or alien. Is that really important? Or should I say, is that, do you need any more proof than that to get people interested in what's on the moon? Look at this beauty, eh? That was an amazing capture. You never know. It might be the only time I'll ever see that in my bloody life, but I'm really happy to have been able to share it. It does upset me that things started going really bad as of that moment. Could be coincidence, but I'm still noting it. You just saw one evening of Starlink capture. This is the second evening. Now, look at all these spots, my friends. You know what you're looking at? Those are each and every light that you see side by side is supposedly a Starlink satellite. Thousands more to be launched. I'm really worried about what's going to happen to people. Are these bloody things going to put us to sleep? Okay, let's go through many scenarios real quick. Could these be a projection of a hologram all around? With satellites, it could be very easily done. So this is the sun. We're close up. Yes, there is absolutely a polarized lens. If not, I wouldn't be that close with my camera, that's for sure. 2000 millimeter camera. It's not a telescope, it's a camera. I also used to have a Fujifilm 1000 millimeter camera. You guys can check that model out. It's inexistent now. They don't make anymore. It was an amazing camera. Wow, they made some amazing cameras back in the days. So you just saw an object going towards the sun too. So basically we're on the outer limits of the sun, on the ridge. And I love zooming up there. And you know what? This is, get this, September 2017 to October. During the months of September and October, look it up yourself. Go and see the activity. September 2017 all the way to October, and also a massive CME from the sun that was recorded. You can even go see the image yourself. This was exactly the 25th or 26th at the beginning of the video. You have to check it out. It's even on YouTube when you type in coronal mass ejection. Coronal mass, not corona. Coronal mass ejection, and you will fall to a video, one or two videos, October 25th or 26th, or end 25th and 26th, and you'll see that I actually caught that live. Lucky as hell, yes. So check this out. The sun usually is always perfectly round, and there's no second line around the sun. I wish I'd gotten it before to show you the difference. Here's the opening that's starting to occur, and the mass coronal ejection, where we're going to turn the image and we're going to watch this large physical object come out of the sun with a tail. Absolutely incredible. So there it is already. At the last minute, I lift the camera up on the edge of the sun. You can see the bottom line is the sun and the mass coronal ejection coming up on the top of the sun. But get this, that is a physical object coming out of the surface of the sun. And this is seen with a green filter. We're going to see it just with the polarized filter and some color there, and you will see what's coming out of the sun. There's also a trail behind it. Do you see that? Another pulsation that you see of the sun. That we're going to see it all really in great detail at the top of the sun. And again, October 26th, 2017. Look it up. Look up the information. Go check at the same time coronal mass ejection on my Bruce Sees All channel, and you'll see the date that I posted it. There it is. There's that massive object. So there's a ball forming, literally the energy field around. It's a discharge of the sun right before it appeared its solar down. Right before it started doing its solar down. You see an object on the right. You see an object at the back, and the sun is still pulsating at the bottom. And again, those lines that formed around the sun, never before have I seen them. It's only a perfect circle. The sun is boring as hell. It's a round regular perfect circle usually. And now look at that. I don't know if you guys and gals have an idea of how strong that pulsation was, how strong that CME that you just saw was, leaving that physical object. Look at it properly. It's going to travel across until it goes out of the screen. So that object also looks like the elongated objects, and I swear to you, it looks exactly like the elongated object that I got hitting the surface of the moon. Now, you know how much time it takes after a large CME like that for it to reach Earth? Good estimation, probably about a month. There's the line of the sun over top and extruding, literally opening up, boring a hole in the field of the corona around the sun, leaving that beautiful object coming outside of it. Absolutely incredible. So that is, excuse the expression, one hell of a discharge. That's for sure, coming out of the top of the sun, and for that object to remain like physically uniform. Imagine how thick or dense the plasma was. Either that or it's a spaceship we saw leaving the bloody sun. Think of it. It was spaceship shaped. Anyways, Clavius Crater. What do you think of this? February 10th, 2019 at exactly 10 p.m. We're looking at 2 lunar waves that are strong enough to be able to be seen. Now, that mass coronal ejection takes about a month, ladies and gents, for that discharge to get to Earth, that electrical magnetic frequency. So, could these lunar waves, or lunar ripples, I call them now, could that be a sign of some of the energy coming from the sun? It goes by the moon and it goes to Earth too. It hits Earth. It takes a couple of weeks. This is February 10th. Go back and look when the last CME ejection was as of that date. You'd be surprised. These waves are occurring not simultaneously, but very close to the times and weeks that the CMEs are recorded. So could this have to also do with the CME that you just saw? That was a massive coronal mass ejection that I showed you guys. In astronomy, libration is the wagging of the moon perceived by us here, the observers, on Earth. Changes in our perspectives, they say, that we see. What's libration, guys? You know how the beautiful moon is always wobbling, changing and shifting and tilting? Well, it's not only rotating and tilting. Listen up, there are different types of libration and different ways to calculate libration, which is very interesting. And also, it permits us as an observer to see slightly different halves of the surface at different times, even the dark side. It's similar in both cause and effect to the changes of the moon's apparent size due to the changes. Also, guys, in the distance. So as you can see, the moon is rocking and rolling. It's going away. It's coming to and forth, to and from, to and from. So it's caused by 3 mechanisms, they say. This is the explanation, the astronomical explanation. I'm talking about, first of all, causing a relatively tiny physical libration, they say, via tidal forces. And then we'll talk about lunar libration. But before that, the tidal forces, an apparent force that stretches a body towards and away from the center of mass of another body due to a gradient difference in strength. So they each have a different gravitational field and strength, both the moon and Earth, from the other body. So this is what's happening. It's responsible for diverse phenomena, they also say, including here, the tides, tidal locking, and get this, breaking apart of celestial bodies and formation of ring systems. So because of Earth, we could pull in a whole star system and the stars will come down towards Earth just by the pull and gravity. Black holes and stars, they're just finding this out, that the tidal forces of them and gravitational forces of them can attract entire systems and even galaxies to collide together. So now we're going to go back and talk about the lunar libration, another type of libration. So the moon keeps one hemisphere of itself facing the Earth due to the tidal locking, they say. But the libration in longitude results from the eccentricity of the moon's orbit around Earth. The moon's rotation sometimes leads and sometimes lags its orbital position, and that's awesome, meaning the moon is sometimes faster than the Earth as it's locked in place due to tidal waves, and it's still doing its rotation, and sometimes it's gaining speed and at times it's losing speed, again going further and getting closer. You could see the top. So to see literally the dark side or a part of it, see the Terminator line as it's getting dark, the front top part is coming this way, and look there, you start taking photos, you start getting live shots, and you're seeing a very hidden part of the moon that we don't see. Like right now it's already hidden as it's rolling back. This is a cool capture. Looks like a plane, eh? Well, there's fire approaching the sun. This is the sun. Inverted filter. We'll see it again. There's a large fire, and it's not a flare. It's a fire at the end of this object. Now, don't forget, this is just a theory, but there are a few spy planes in the States that have that shape. And I don't know any plane at all that has a rocket or fire coming out of it like that, except, of course, a Concorde. Let's not be ridiculous. There are no Concordes here. Check it out. An object going by. Look at the arrow on it. Isn't that trippy? That's something going by, ladies and gents, right by the sun. That's pretty awesome. I call it the coffee bean. Looks like a pair of lips or whatever. Anyways, won't get into that. Thanks for the support, everyone. Thank you kindly for the support, everyone. If it wasn't for my amazing community, this channel wouldn't even exist. Thanks a whole bunch, everyone. I really appreciate it. Slow disclosure is in progress. More information will be coming a lot more.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we've had a problem.